Hello, what's up everybody? This is Barbara Jenice with Reiki101 from MemPhoenix, Class 7, Session 7. I'm only a few minutes late, but I actually managed to make it on, so yay!
Final boarding, Delta Flight 3574, service to Salt Lake City. All confirmed and ticketed passengers, please be on board through the door marked A29. Final boarding.
Final boarding. So, hey, what's up? As you can see, I made it on. In case you couldn't hear the announcements, I'm in the Denver airport, right by like the Zen bridge to the concourses. I was making jokes about Zen gardens, and like, I don't know if you can hear the music. It's playing so softly and faintly back there, but it's beautiful. What's up, Daphne? Hey, Maureen. What's going on, ladies? I'm glad to have you. Thanks so much for jumping on with me. I know people are probably going to be walking past and like looking at me like I'm just a little crazy. That's okay. They're not important. Nice thing is that this headset like means that it's picking up the, like, you know, it's like a mic, and so it's picking me up very well. At least as far as I can tell. So if it gets to a point where you can't hear me, please let me know. And you know, who knows, things may come up where we have to do this again, but we'll see. And sorry, I wanted to go ahead and jump on so people knew that I was doing it, but I'm also still in the process of getting the phone on this little handle here and getting that whole deal situated. So, some of the beautiful things that have happened this weekend is, or this week actually, being able to meet with several people, some new people actually, in Nashville, doing Reiki sessions for people who've never experienced Reiki before, and being able to like explain that, and being able to bring the Reiki practice to people of strong Christian backgrounds. Hey Crystal, what's up? Yay, I did make it. Really happy. I'm a little tired today, but overall just the energy and the vibe, everything has been really high and positive and healthy and beautiful. Bridget, Danielle, what's up? Girl, I saw you in the store in Memphis, and I was on the phone, and you were looking for something, and I was like, is that? And I think it was when I was walking out the door that I actually finally put it together who you were. You'll have to forgive me, please, Bridge, but you know, it's been like maybe 2 years since we've seen each other in person. So again, please forgive me for that. Anyway, so just gonna breathe and get centered here while I get the manual pulled up. So, can you do Reiki on the fly? Can you do Reiki on fire? Basically, it's just kind of a great symbolism, being that this is MemPhoenix, you know, rising through the ashes, coming through the fire. Can you tap in, tune in, get connected, and stay centered through, you know, tumultuous events, through tragedy, through unexpected changes and curveballs? And the answer is yes, absolutely. It's not as easy as when you're in a nice, quiet, controlled environment, but it's not only possible, it's necessary, and it gives you so much growth when you can manage to connect and not only pull yourself through, but just the act of healing yourself and pulling yourself through, it ends up helping others elevate themselves. And that's something I've been just witnessing this week. I've had former students and clients who practice different healing modalities come on and, well, not come on the show, but come to me and give me healing sessions in return. So like this past week, a former client, she was my first regular Reiki client actually. She was a patron of the Good Life, She has several degrees, doctorates. The woman is a genius. She creates her own herbal healing lines. Mostly they're herbal blends. And as we get that worked out, you'll be seeing some of her things on the MemPhoenix products page. But her name is Lindy Bricado, and she's one of the reasons that I'm still a Reiki practitioner today, because being able to practice with someone consistently and get actual feedback from such a grounded, rational person was incredible and extraordinary. So especially like Lindy's sleep tea, that's the first one that I want to bring kind of to market and bring to people, because they're created, first of all, they're extraordinarily well researched. Second, they're created with intention of loving and healing. She pours all of that energy into everything that she makes and creates. And third, they're one of my favorite things. I think number 3 and number 11 of her sleep blends. They usually contain things like, most sleep teas contain like chamomile, but she also puts in one of my favorite ingredients, which is skullcap, which is really excellent for me, for nerve pain and helping to sleep and settle that kind of anxiety. Let's see, I saw some stuff pop up. What's up, Daphne? Lows aren't all. Daphne said, been low this week. I'm getting back on track. The lows aren't always bad, but sometimes the lows are there to so that we can help process and learn the lessons. Another way of looking at it, which a prophetic woman sat across from me this morning as we were getting ready to board the first plane. And she was talking about how the challenges and the tragedies and some of the painful events in our lives are not necessarily God challenging us or testing us, but that it's the enemy, as she put it, or the devil. It's that contrast coming in, and it's the God energy that pulls us through and flips that energy, flips it for the good, brings everything back around. For the highest good of all, and specifically saying the highest good of all is a huge Reiki intention. This cute dog, oh my goodness. Since we're talking about animal Reiki, let me see. You guys see him? He's gorgeous. Hi. For her, anyway. Yes, so embracing the contrast and the negatives and the challenges, and finding a way to get centered and connected. For me, chanting and Reiki have been the best ways that I do that. Whether it's chanting prayers that I've learned, growing up, like the Lord's Prayer. There was also one at Good Samaritan, which was where I spent my teenage years. Our family church home in Memphis, and let's see. And God will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of God, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of God's hand.
Attention, concourse. This is the final boarding call for all remaining passengers traveling to London Heathrow on British Airways Flight 218. If you are a ticketed and confirmed passenger, please proceed immediately to gate 837. A flight has boarded and is waiting to depart. Doors will be closing in 5 minutes and will not reopen.
So I love that as I sang the
Attention,
actual...
Concourse Delta Airlines is currently boarding all passengers for Los Angeles Flight 2171 here at 8:30. If you're holding a confirmed ticket, we ask that you board for an on-time departure. Currently boarding all rows, all zones.
Okay, So I was saying it was ironic that announcement came on right as I was singing the last note of that song. I'm not going to try and compete with the airport announcements. The traffic is kind of slowing down, so they won't be terribly frequent right now. Let's see, Daphne's other comment: join Leadership of Light to get your channel open. Hey, Phyllis. Well, I wouldn't say it doesn't work. It may not be, the channel that it's working on may be something you already have open. And so that's something that you didn't know before. You wouldn't have known if you hadn't taken that step. And now you know you can find something else. And just approach it with a beginner's mind. Approach it with an open heart, ready to embrace it. And that way you'll be able to gain something from it. Or maybe even you're there to give something to someone else. Maybe it's not there for you to be gaining. Sometimes we think we're the ones in need when actually the universe is putting us in place to be of service. And sometimes it's both. Quite often it's been both for me. I'm finding healing and love and light in people that I'm going and treating. Juan Patterson, hello. Oh my goodness. So talking about love and light and encouragement, Juan Patterson, Ms. Juan P, for years has been one of the best motivational Memphis women, putting out daily words of encouragement and messages of power and positivity. And Juan, there were moments and times where it was like, even though I knew you were sending this to hundreds of people, these messages to hundreds of people, it was like it was meant directly for me at that time, specific time, to bring about healing.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final boarding call for all remaining passengers traveling to London Heathrow British Airways Flight 218. If you're ticketed a confirmed passenger, please proceed immediately to gate 837 where your flight has boarded and is waiting to depart. Doors will be closing in 2 minutes and will not reopen.
They will not reopen. So, anyway, Juan P. Phyllis, if you missed it earlier, I'm in Denver, at the Denver airport, showing off this gorgeous sky bridge to the other terminals and concourses. When I get my second wind back, I'll go kind of show you around a little bit. It's one of the more beautiful places in the airport. Down those hallways, there's all these gorgeous spider plants.
Engaging the following passengers: Hannah Brokrini, Miss Magdala Gorshnar, Matthew Rukowski, Annalie Smith, and Lucas Will. If you've heard your name called, please proceed immediately to gate 837, where your flight has boarded and is waiting to depart. Doors will be closing in 2 minutes and will not reopen.
Alrighty. So, I forgot to share the live stream to our Reiki group to make sure everybody gets a chance to jump on into the MemPhoenix page. Why is that battery not working? Oh well. I'm going to write post to share it to the page. So, it is a really nice airport. I was talking to my manager, my friendager, Bianca, the other day, and I was like, whenever I fly Frontier, because of this incredible gift of Mark and Gabriel, I always have these long layovers in Denver, sometimes overnight, sometimes for days at a time.
This final boarding call for Delta Flight 2171 to Los Angeles. All ticket confirmed passengers should be on board at this time at gate 830. Again, this final boarding call for Delta Flight 2171 to Los Angeles. All ticket confirmed passengers should be on board at this time at gate 8:30. Final boarding call, doors closing in 10 minutes.
Okay, so, oh man, I lost my train of thought. Darn, I was trying to hold it. Oh, thank you, Daphne. So, I have no makeup on right now. My skin is actually healing from sunburn from this weekend. Hey, Erica. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in forever. I hope you're doing well and getting settled. I think I heard from Megan that you guys were moving. Big move. Anyway, trying to share the link to our peeps. There we go. Done. Awesome. All right, so what the plan was for today, getting back on track, you can kind of see like it's where it's peeling, starting to kind of skin starting to regenerate. I've got eczema that comes out when I'm in the sun too heavy. And ironically, I was talking with Crystal about facial cleansers and moisturizers, and then my friend Beck Weaver left me these great samples of it's this really potent skin cream, and it's definitely been helpful, but I also realized it's not something I want to use long term, because I asked Crystal and I were going through this process of looking at moisturizers, and especially moisturizers for intensive periods, like the ingredients, some of them were actually pretty toxic, and long-term use, long-term exposure is really detrimental to your body and to the environment. So we're looking at getting something else going with that. Crystal, something I didn't get to a chance to tell you is your sister in Reiki, your big sister, Jamie, she already makes body butters. And so she used to call it Joy Ray Soulshine. I'm not sure what name she's using right now, but they were incredible body butters. I'm going to ask her if she can look at making soaps and some face creams that we can order, and that'll we'll be able to customize it to whatever we need, and that'll be a gift to her and to us. People are walking past me in the airport like, what are you doing talking to your phone? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing in any moment except trying to stay tapped in, tuned in, turned on to what divine guidance wants me to do, because trying to do anything else doesn't work. It just doesn't. It'll work for a little while, and then I find that I'm right back to needing a change. And part of that is definitely my growth process. And as we go through different levels of ascension and enlightenment, we find that the challenges get bigger. You're more able to handle them when they come up. Like say you've been working on your healing process and clearing out your junk for a year, a situation comes up that's kind of catastrophic and you feel like the sky is falling. But if you take a moment, connect, and realize that a year ago, if you had, if this situation had come up a year ago before you had done that work, you might not have been able to handle it. More than likely, it would have broken you, kind of had you kind of face down, right? So I'd like to look at the manual, and maybe what I'm going to have to do is have a couple of extra sessions to go over some of the detailed processes towards the end of the level 1 manual. Excuse me, because I haven't had a chance to go through it. There's some things that Peggy has put in here that I'm not familiar with that I wanted to read through before coming on class. And just with the way life and energy has been going, that just isn't what happened. I really had to take a lot more time than I intended to take care of myself and just really allow myself downtime, especially after getting the sunburn and all of the physical manifestations that were telling me to slow down and kind of settle down. And it's like I could have kept pushing then and missed this trip to LA, or slowed down then and then actually made it. And I wasn't actually sure if I was going to make it or not. It was like kind of a day-to-day thing between my energy, finances, everything.
Paging arriving Charlotte passenger Mark Lefebvre, please return to gate 851 for a lost article. Mark Lefebvre, please return to gate 851 for a lost article.
Whether or not I was going to make it on this trip, not only to play the backyard concert, to see some friends, do some one-on-one visits with some sick and shut-in friends and family in LA. But back to the manual, there are some articles on this website called Reiki101 that I'd like to share with everybody. It's been a really good resource for me over the years. And at the end of level 1,
Attention on the Concourse Delta Airlines is paging 405 Crawford, passenger Shorts, passenger White, and Ahir. If you're in the gate area, please board at 8:30 for an on-time departure. Doors will be closing in 4 minutes.
So it's, I just lost my train of thought again. Point being, manual, want to go through it. Animal Reiki, Reiki101. I got back to it. See, found my way. So I'll share the link for Reiki101. They've got a Facebook page and their website, and they send out a newsletter. So some of the techniques they give are for advanced level Reiki. But if you want to try that through your own spiritual practice, through prayer and asking God or your angel guides to guide you through that process, of course that's up to you. So what I can do is to read it to you and with you, and then I'll tell you the other things that are coming up soon. But it's Hatsureho. It's a technique said to be from Taoist Qigong movement, but it's now taught in Japanese Reiki Society, founded by Usui.
Please report any
Dr.
unattended
Usui,
bags
the founder
and
of Reiki.
behavior to the nearest airport employee,
Yeah,
law enforcement
Phyllis, that's exactly it.
officer, or
Reiki101.
TSA representative.
Reiki101. Hatsureho can be used as daily meditation along with reciting the Reiki principles in the morning and evening. It's known through Hiroshi, who studied with the Japanese Reiki Society as well as Western Reiki. And it's done before receiving the attunement, Reiju, the channel strengthening form of attunement used by Reiki Gakkai, which is Gakkai means society in Japanese, which I know because...
And this final boarding call for the flight 2171 to Los Angeles. All ticket and confirmed passengers should be on board at this time at gate 8:30. Again, this final boarding call for the flight 2171 to Los Angeles. All ticket and confirmed passengers should be on board at this time at gate 8:30. Final boarding call.
Excuse me.
Doors closing in 3 minutes. It will not reopen.
So, Gakkai, that reminds me of something I was trying to say earlier and forgot. But the other Japanese practice I use for centering and grounding is Nichiren Buddhism, chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. And I learned that through the Soka Gakkai, which means Value Creation Society. So Reiki Gakkai would be the Reiki Society, or Universal Life Force Energy Society. So it can enhance...
James Schreier. Please pick up a white courtesy telephone or go to an information booth. James Schreier.
So maybe it was a bad idea to try and do this in the airport. But basically, you're going to sit on the floor in a chair, relax, and you're going to focus on your creativity chakra, your second chakra. It's called your Hara line in Phyllis's manual. Put your hands in your lap, facing palms up. That's always a good practice for receiving. And then you begin to mentally ask for that flow of energy. And you want to conduct your dry bathing or brushing off, which is something that I've already taught. But what they don't teach is to warm your hands and start that flow of energy before brushing, which I would do. And that's something that I developed later. Usually the dry brushing is done with 2 fingers. You can do the whole hands. But going over the body. And then you want to repeat on each side of the body, front and back, and down the legs, and up the feet. Then you're going to connect to Reiki energy, request that Reiki energy flow through you, and then visualize and feel the vibration and light of Reiki flowing into your hands and run through your whole body. I like to allow the Reiki to start at the crown of my head, almost like my hands are charging and pulling that energy in. But sometimes I feel it starting at different parts of my body, so don't ignore something happening different from the way that you were taught. Always embrace what's going on with you, because each of us are different. All of our connections to spirit are different, so make sure that you're honoring what your particular experience is going to be. Then there's the cleansing breathing. Keep your hands on your lap, palms up, and breathe naturally through your nose, focusing on your hara line, or that second chakra. And as you breathe in, visualize the white light of Reiki coming in through your crown chakra and on down to your hairline and expanding to the whole of your body and allowing all of your tensions to melt away. As you breathe out, visualize that the light that filled up your whole body expands to outside of your body, through your skin, out into infinity in all directions. And then you want to continue to do that for a couple of minutes, and each time you breathe in and out, you're expanding that energy almost like a contracting lung, but with each in and out, the energy is getting stronger, the light's getting brighter, and your reach is coming further. And here's the unique part, is imagine that you're breathing through your hands, and that when you breathe in, you visualize the light of Reiki flows in through your hands and onto your hara line and your spine. And as you breathe out, visualize that the light stored in your hara line radiates out through your hands. And continue this visualization as long as you would like. Let's take a moment and visualize that together. So breathing in, imagining that Reiki light is coming in through the hands. And that instead of depleting from your body, it's growing stronger as you breathe out, so that your body is continuing to stay lit with this Reiki energy. Focus on the breath and on the flow of that energy as you breathe in and out. As the energy breathes itself in and out through your hands, radiates through your body. And to end, put your hands back into your lap with your palms face down. And you want to mentally confirm that you've completed this practice, the Hatsureiho. Open your eyes, shake your hands up, down, left, and right for a few seconds. So that practice. So Reiju is given by Reiki Masters during the meditation part of Hatsureiho. So if you are receiving Reiju, you will continue meditation until you are touched on the shoulder or told that Reiju is complete. And that would be obviously in a one-on-one session or attunement. Alright, so Usui Sensei's Shuyoho. So Usui Sensei, in my understanding of Japanese language, you put the name of your teacher first and attach sensei to the end of the word of their name. So Usui Sensei would be Dr. Mikao Usui in Reiki, and then in the Soka Gakkai, we have Daisaku Ikeda, the president of the SGI, is our sensei. So we say Ikeda Sensei. They say that the Hatsureiho taught by Mr. Doi is a modified version of Usui Sensei's original, and how it's done is also described in his book. So you can look up the book by Hirashi. I think that was his name. Yeah, Hiroshi Doi. So D-O-I would be Doi, and Hiroshi, Hiroshi. He calls it Shuyoho when it is done together in a group. And it is done like this. You clear one's mind by singing Gyosei, which I don't know those, but I'm looking forward to learning. Those are the waka poems of the emperor. Seiza would be part 2, where you sit on the floor in a Zen style. Kinyoku is the brushing off. Josen Kokyu, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm going to have to ask Shinji to help me with my pronunciation. The Joshin Kokyu is the soul cleansing breathing, the meditation focusing on tanden. It doesn't say what tanden is, and I don't remember right now, but we can definitely look that up. And Gasho is bringing in the Reiki energy. Then the Seishin Toitsu is to continue to meditate, and that is when the Reiju, this energy, is passed on from teacher to student. And Gokai Sansho is to say the Reiki principles aloud 3 times. So any Sansho in Japanese tradition is the closing or ending of the practice, and typically end saying something 3 times. Like Sansho in Nichiren Buddhism is repeating Nam-myoho Renge-kyo 3 times. And Sansho in this particular Reiki practice, Gokai Sansho, was to say the Reiki principles aloud 3 times.
Frontier passengers traveling on flight 438 with non-stop services to Milwaukee, there has been a gate change. You would now be departing out of gate Alpha 37. Again, all Frontier passengers traveling to Milwaukee on Frontier Flight 438 with non-stop services to Milwaukee, you will now be departing out of gate Alpha 37.
Go with how the energy wants to flow. Perfect. Awesome. And so the title of Mr. Doi's book, again, you know, it doesn't say. I may have overlooked it, but
It's there.
No, it doesn't say the name of this book. It is about Reiki. So we'll have to look that up, and I'll research that and put it in the group chat. Make myself a little note. Hi, Ray. How are you? Yeah, Denver Airport, my middle home.
Attention all Frontier passengers. Attention all Frontier passengers traveling to Reno on Frontier Flight 533. There has been a change. You will now be departing out of gate Alpha 34. Again, all Frontier passengers who are traveling to Reno on Flight 533, you will now be departing out of gate Alpha 34. Again, all Frontier passengers traveling with us today,
I am a Frontier
please
passenger.
have
I'm
you
just
stop
not
by
going to
one
Reno
of the
today.
departing monitors to look for any updated gate changes, or stop and see a gate agent somewhere along the concourse. Thank you for your cooperation.
So I really love that leading up to today's
This is a final
session.
boarding call, American Airlines flight.
I guess I'll read your
416
comments
with
since
service
there's
to
some
Los
topic.
Angeles. All passengers must be on board at this time. Doorway A50, all aboard.
Okay. I love that. I love the synchronicity. There's no coincidences. That today I was thinking about how I wanted to speak on the connection for me of having 2 Japanese energy practices that worked together so seamlessly, even though neither of them talked about the other, Nichiren Buddhism and Reiki. And then as I began chanting and got involved with the Soka Gakkai, the Nichiren Buddhist community in Memphis, I met so many other Reiki practitioners. And now we're looking at so many similarities or synchronicities. And now Ray is talking about chakra stones. You just got your chakra stones, and the pendulum is swinging. Sometimes my understanding, which I haven't done a lot of study with pendulum work, but when your energy field, when you're first beginning to learn to work with it, it can be kind of erratic, and then other times it's symbolizing like you're going through a big shift or a big change. So anybody that knows more about that, that wants to share info in the Reiki chat, please do. That would be helpful for all of us. Thanks, I am handling this challenge. Hey Jennifer, what's up? My sister Love, sister Dana, hey. All right, so the reason that I was saying that Ray talking about the chakras was a beautiful synchronicity is because the next section in our level 1 manual is talking about the aura, the meridians, energy meridians in the body, and the actual energy body. So many of the hand positions that we talked about that are taught in Reiki, they follow the chakra system. And that's because no matter what system you learn, the human body puts out energy at these specific places. And if you're learning to read the energy, you're going to feel it and pick it up. And it's, our heads are typically in the same places. We have arms and legs. That's the human form, just as much as these energy centers being where they are. So Usui Sensei was probably much more familiar with the meridian channels of the energy body, which are used in traditional Japanese and Chinese medicine. The Reiki hand positions cover the major meridian channels at junctions that are significant to those familiar with them. I'm going to make this a little bit larger so you can see the illustration. Oh boy, weird light. Oh, there we go. Cool. And of course, this is in the Reiki manual that's in the group chat, in the Reiki101 group chat. So be sure to download it if you haven't yet, and you'll be able to get a lot more detail than what I'm able to read off here. But it talks about the first chakra being our governing vessel, and then the second chakra point being the large intestine. Actually, that would be on this side. Third, relating to the conception vessel. Fourth, kidney. Fifth would be your pericardium. Sixth, your elbow would be the heart. And I'm not going to go through all of them here because, like I said, you guys can look that up, and it's a little challenging to try and move the camera around to show. I'm a little more comfortable jumping up and down when I'm at home. Channeling Eric. Ray, you'll have to tell me about that. I don't know about channeling Eric. What to expect in channel on level 2 and the master level. Absolutely. Thanks, Phyllis. So basically what I was saying about moving through, as you gain a new level of knowledge, you gain new levels of challenges to move through. That's been my experience, and every Reiki practitioner I know, and every energy healer I know, no matter what modality, once you start to open up to these energies and this knowledge and awareness, you see more of the world. You're not that it wasn't there before, but your awareness is opened, and you witness more of it. You're vibrating in a way that more people who can be helped. More people who can be helped by you will be brought into your experience, and more. The more that you resist changes, the larger that pushback from the universe is going to be. So because you're attuned to a higher level of energy and functioning, the more that you allow the flow to happen, the easier those experiences are going to be, and you're going to experience these huge manifestations, things happening more quickly, you being able to achieve more, being able to do more. You'll feel stronger in your body. But also when you're holding resistance and pushing against, the consequences are stronger. at the same time, you can handle it. You just have faith that you can handle it and go back to the tools that you've learned. Stating the Reiki principles, chanting, those are for me. And if you're a Reiki practitioner, those are for you. Stating the Reiki principles, connecting with your spirit guides, getting grounded and centered, taking time, the 33 minutes of meditating in the morning. And again, the reason you really want to do it in the morning is because your resistance has stopped. All of your thoughts, your monkey mind, and as Esther Hicks says, that's kind of disrespectful to monkeys because they do a better job of staying connected to source energy than we do. But the racing mind, all of that builds energy throughout the day, and all of us moving about in the world together creates that energy during the day. So not only is your resistance dropped when you sleep, but the entire world's resistance is dropped when you sleep. So when we first wake up, it is very calm. It's much easier to connect. You don't have as much static to move through to get connected to your source. So make sure that you at least attempt to connect or meditate in the morning. And when it's challenging to sit with the quiet, try doing rampages of appreciation. If you aren't familiar with that, look up Esther Hicks and Abraham Hicks, Rampage of Appreciation. Basically, you can write out a gratitude list, writing out things that you're grateful and appreciative for, looking at the things in your life that you can appreciate, laying in your bed, just staying in your bed and appreciate the fact that you have this bed, that you have this pillow. Look what you have managed to bring for yourself, a place to sleep, wherever it is. Look at the fact that air is moving through your lungs. Look at the fact that you can look at anything. Find any little reason to bring in that vibration of appreciation and love, because gratitude and appreciation are the highest vibrations. And if you can't get your mind quiet to allow spirit to flow in, then you can instead at least change the dialogue. You can change what's happening in your mind, what energy you're putting out, because every thought that you think comes from an emotion. Every emotion that you have comes from a vibration, and those vibrations tell you where you are, what you are broadcasting to the world, and that's going to determine what you are receiving from the world. My dad and I still sometimes, we're coming to more of an understanding of that, but he contends, he said, I just don't believe we're that powerful in terms of being able to affect our own reality. And the more we talk about it and try to find the words to explain it, the more we're coming to some common understanding. But if you look at it as though everything were a stream, and the source of that stream is the source of all things, God source energy, then there are events and energies and thoughts that have been happening long before we came into existence. And so that momentum is already starting. But imagine that you're in a boat on that river in the stream. You can't necessarily turn your boat around and start floating upstream. There's too much momentum of all that water flowing downstream. But you can use your oars and maneuver through the river, through the stream. You don't have to necessarily hit the biggest rocks in the stream. You can maneuver around them and sometimes hit smaller rocks. Sometimes there's ones that you can't see that are going to happen. And it may be what we feel is catastrophic. It may result in our death or the death of a loved one.
Shearer, please pick up a white courtesy telephone or go to any information booth. James,
but like every contrasting, painful event, we are here to learn to love like God through that. We are here to experience that and do the work that it takes to turn it around and continue to love like God, as opposed to turning towards hate. These events are going to happen, but we can choose which filter we respond with. You can respond to pain with hope and with joy, or you can respond to pain with fear and hatred. And that choice is going to color your future experiences and the experiences of your children and your friends and your community. It may not be an immediate manifestation, or it could be, it just depends on how fast you're manifesting, what's happening around you, what the other people around you are manifesting. Because yes, we create our own reality, but everybody is creating this reality. We are co-creating it together. And so we have to bring that into account. Okay. Phyllis, do we learn about the chakras to incorporate with Reiki? Absolutely. That's the next section that we're going through. Yes, Ray, it's on YouTube. Hey, Pam, what's up, girl? Marilyn, hi. Oh, so many beautiful souls. My nephew, Adam, happy birthday, dear. All right. Crystal, morning's favorite time to connect. It is way easier, definitely. I agree. Ray, we just have to quiet our thoughts on what we want. Quiet our thoughts, yes, and just allow what we want to flow in. Because if you connect with your deepest desires and why you want those desires, then the point is that we just want to be happy. We just want to feel good. Anything that we want, it's because we want it because we will feel better in the having of it. And if we connect to the reason, if we connect to feeling better no matter what, then those things that we want will continue to flow in. See, Phyllis, you have the racing mind despite your energy. You're doing better with that. You're learning to quiet your mind. Yep, it's a process. You just have to keep working it, keep doing it every day. And, it can feel like you're sliding backwards, can feel like you're not as on point with it as you want to be or as you used to be. But you just keep coming back to what works. You just keep coming back and don't give up. Don't give up. You still have friends. Don't give up. You're not beaten yet. Don't give up. I know that there's a place where we belong.
To Dallas now, departing out of Alpha 49. Passengers must be on board to the doorway immediately. Once again, last and final boarding call for American Airlines. Delayed flight 124 service to Dallas. Now boarding out of Alpha 49.
This proud land we grew up strong. We were wanted all along. I was taught to fight, taught to win. I never thought I could fail. So that is Don't Give Up. The first time I heard it was Herbie Hancock's version with Pink and John Legend, and it was the first time that I ever went to a meeting, an SGI Soka Gakkai meeting, chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and I was in tears. I had my Reiki level 1 attunement at that point, but I wasn't really practicing or focusing on using it, and I was in a very, very lost place, and I was really searching. And I had begun chanting some Tibetan Buddhist chants and found great success with that, but it wasn't quite enough at that point. And I was praying for the right solutions to manifest and show themselves. And my friend Rob Oslin, I noticed that he listed on Facebook that he was a Buddhist. And from there, ended up going to a couple of neighborhood meetings at Maria's house, and then we ended up at the SGI Center in Memphis, off Sycamore View. By the way, first Sunday of the month, 10 a.m. Check it out if you feel called. But the youth division played that song, and Don't Give Up is the motto of SGI USA. And it's I can't describe it, but check it out on YouTube. Don't Give Up, Herbie Hancock, Pink, and John Legend. It will move you. It will move you. we're going to get back to the chakras as soon as I check these questions you're raising. I think you're on a gravel road. Oh, because of the suitcases. Yes, Dana, collective conscious. Hey, Lana. Act like you already have it. Yeah, acting like you already have it is the first step towards, for most people, being able to feel like you already have it. Because the acting isn't necessarily the energy, but when you connect with the feeling, that's when you bring in the vibrations. Hey, love you. Thank you so much. Oh, cool. Thank you. That'll be awesome. I love receiving gifts. So I'm going to keep my California address because I'm going to keep coming back out. That was a question for me about whether or not the universe was guiding me to do that. I really wanted it to. It's like if I tell you what I want is an office in LA and the condo in Nashville and a giant house in Memphis that can be a hostel for musicians and creatives. So yeah, I'm just gonna put that out there. That's what I want. Okay. All right. Getting back to the chakras. So Peggy goes into a lot of really good detail in the manual. Well, some detail about the auras and the chakra, about the aura and the chakras. So the aura is basically your energy field that surrounds your body. It's not, attached to your body. It's just hovering around. And quite often when you practice Reiki, you'll practice working with the aura as opposed to working with your hands on the body. It helps people to be more comfortable. And a lot of practitioners find that it's even more powerful because you can stay focused on that energy channeling as opposed to when you come in touch and when you're sometimes it can be a distraction and you may be unconsciously picking up energy from the people you're working with.
Please report any unattended bags and suspicious.
No, we can do a chakra class. Speaking of another class, what
representative.
It's not quite a chakra class. It's kind of far beyond that. Looking at Joy's Way. It's backwards. Joy's Way. And it's ironic, too, that Jamie's has a huge connection to joy. And I was talking with her the day that Spirit told me that this was the next class we were doing.
And ladies and gentlemen, Air Canada Flight 7704 service to Montreal is now ready for boarding again. We have started the boarding process through gate A47.
Okay, so when first time I received this book was when I first started working for Dr. Steve in Memphis. I started my apprenticeship with him at Good Life Honeysuckle Health Foods. By the way, you can call Steve anytime, 10 to 6 Central Time, 901-327-9755. And you can see my artwork on the walls there. I love that mural. But a Reiki master who comes into the store, Julia Dennis, actually came in. She heard my story, we were talking, and she brought me some books and information and magazines. And the weird thing about that is that I used to be an avid reader. Not just an avid reader, I would compete in reading competitions. Reading was my therapy, my best friends. There were no punishments that my mother could devise that would really work for me for behavior modification except taking my books away. That would always get my attention. But since my head injury, since that crowning, once I went through the process of getting my reading skills back to, about like a high school level, once I'd accomplished that challenge, I've never really regained the kind of enthusiasm for reading for fun as I once had, and I still find this resistance to reading for research. Internet research I can do. It's small bites. I can go look up something quickly and get it done. Reading on paper is a slower process. So I had not actually done more than reading the back cover of this. And then as I was moving and excavating some boxes and things, I had a box of products and samples from the Good Life and papers and things like that from when I used to make little pop-up stores at different events and sell Good Life products there. And you know, this book was there, never been read, another book that Julie gave me on epilepsy. And as I even before I started reading it, I heard the message that this was the next class that I was supposed to teach, that we were going to do a book study on Joy's Way. It is the transformational journey, and it's about energy healing on a huge scale, comparatively speaking. Just from the little bit that I've read, Dr. Joy had, you know, some huge physical traumas that brought him to a different awareness of energy healing and alternative medicine. And the things that he's accomplished are pretty incredible. So I can't wait to share that journey with you guys. Okay. Hi, Ilya. We have got to actually connect when I'm in the city. Like, it's got to actually happen one of these days. All right, so one of the things Peggy's talking about is one of the things that we talked about in the very first class, that your physical body is only a small part of your true self. Your true self is this huge, huge energetic being. And that is far more than what you can perceive physically. We're made of the energy that permeates every layer of our being. We learn to channel it in Reiki. And anything that we perceive as being solid in this physical world just means that it's vibrating slowly. So slowly that it seems to us that it's standing still and that it's solid. But everything is vibrating at a different frequency. The aura can extend anywhere from 1 to 5 feet from the body once you start learning to see it, and not everybody sees it, so if you don't feel like there's something wrong with you. For me, more often than seeing it, I feel it, I can sense it. It feels like a density, but there are times where people's light is so radiant that I do see their aura, I see their colors.
Please make your way down to 842 for French Flight 122 to Dallas.
So the faster energy vibrates, the harder.
Ladies and gentlemen, Canada Flight 1704, service to Montreal, has begun the boarding process for gate A47. Any remaining passengers are requested to return to the gate for reboarding.
The faster the energy vibrates, the harder it is for us to see it and perceive it with our physical senses. And that's when we want to start using our extrasensory senses. It's the densest, the thickest, the easiest to perceive, the closer it is to the body. And it becomes finer and thinner the further it is away from it. I'd like to do a class on the aura also, so maybe we might combine those, the aura and chakras. Because I've not done a chakra class, I've just kind of picked it up as I've been going through my Reiki practice and reading about it through different healing modalities, and as I've encountered working with different teachers. But definitely we can look at doing it. The thing that preceded Reiki for me was a book called How to See and Read the Aura. And I'm pretty sure that guy's name starts with a T, but I'm drawing a blank. I know that it was called How to See and Read the Aura. And he also wrote books on working with animals and getting your animal spirit guides. So there are layers within the aura and energy body, and channels and organs within it. So trauma and emotional disturbances can create blocks and other damages in your energy body. So when we talk about like transmuting lower vibrations, those are things that are kind of vibrating and hanging out in your energy body. Those traumas and damages that are walking around with us. Hey, Steph. Hello. Oh, the title of the book, sorry, Phyllis, it's called Joy's Way. And the name, the author is W. Brew Joy. So I'll pull that up again and let you see it at the end so you guys can, and I'll post it in the chat also and on my page so that you'll be able to find it and order it if you choose to participate. Why is the aura dense at times? Well, it's always going to be denser closer to your body because it's kind of where that source is congregating, but also that's where we're radiating. It can be denser and thicker in certain places because of trauma or energies that we're holding on to or that are holding on to us. So if you've heard of cord cutting or cord attachments, those attachments that bind us to other people through our relationships sometimes, through different lifetimes, those attachments can stay. And we talked about the different layers. Trauma and emotional disturbance can cause blocks and other damages. If the damages aren't repaired, like any injury, if it's not remedied and repaired and paid attention to over time, the outward manifestation will be disease. If you follow Abraham Esther Hicks, it's that pinching off your wellness from source. You're not allowing that divine source energy to flow in. So because when we're carrying those traumas and those vibrations around with us, those energy blocks are pinching us off from the wellness that is always flowing to us. The Reiki energy, to use the terminology for this class. And that's when we get manifestations of pain and disease and dysfunction. And as I've been meditating on that part of it, what's become clear to me is that it's not always something that we've manifested in this particular lifetime or existence, and it's not always something that we manifested ourselves. A lot of times there are things that have been manifested by the collective consciousness, things that were manifested by our parents and ancestors, or even by ourselves in previous lifetimes, previous existences, if you believe in reincarnation. So that's where, again, to reiterate, going back to finding ways, any way you can, to connect to divine source energy and keep that flow going is crucial to help you flow around those energy blocks and begin to clear them out. Just like if you have an injury, if you have a spider bite, you need to pay attention to it and remedy it. And I'll tell you, it healed and was clearing up so fast that I started to forget about it and forget to continue treating it and allowing all of my body and supporting my body in processing those powerful, that venom, those toxins. And so, I was not so lovingly reminded. It swelled up again for a little while. And so any injury, any imbalance, whether it's in the physical or energetic body, we always have to pay attention to it. Hi, Lurlyn. What's up? Incredible, amazing, inspirational artist, Lurlyn Franklin. Was honored to be able to play an art show and display some of my art, my Lady in Red series, alongside. So definitely, guys, if you can, creating physical art, taking time to view the creations of others, tapping into that type of energy is incredibly healing and powerful. So, that would be something I would definitely encourage you to do, is to find artists that you love, music, visual art, culinary art, whatever it is. Art heals. Where have you heard that before? Phyllis. Is that a blockage? Go for double knee surgery July 2nd. All right. I would like for you to look at You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And this is, I'm not saying instead of the knee surgery. I'm saying if I were you, in addition to the knee surgery, I would look at continuing to do the energetic work of where some of those influences could have come from, and for me, it's really helpful in the healing process. So yeah, Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. Look at the her dictionary in the back there of what the knees represent. Okay, Phyllis is saying that when you had acupuncture, there were spots where the needles were placed and you could feel burning, and it was told that was a block being released. I've had the same experience with acupuncture. Not every place that the needle was put on me had that experience, but definitely there were areas that Dr. Dedman worked on that he would place the needles where sometimes when he would put the needle in, I wouldn't feel anything, and as it stayed there, I could feel it pulling and concentrating that energy. And as we go through and learn more about the energy meridians, and if you go further and start learning about something I want to learn about, like kinetic chains in the body, the way that the energy flows, so which is a big part of what these diagrams are showing, that these different points on the body are not necessarily, you're not looking at a point on the body like your hand is hurting, so you put a needle on your hand. Certain places on the hands and feet relate to other organs and systems in the body. So, here's my place.
Winto, Karen Winto, please pick up a courtesy card or video for information. Karen Winto.
I'm going to do one more paragraph and then jump off of here. I'm going a little over time. Let's see. Okay, the aura is the field of energy that permeates the body and extends out from it 2 to 5 feet. And most people, some common names for the aura layers from the innermost dense to the outer finer or higher vibration layer is 1, the etheric body, 2, the emotional body, 3 would be the mental body, 4 would be the casual body, and then 5, the etheric template, 6, your intuitive, and 7 would be cosmic. Now, those names are by no means complete or definitive, and several of the individual layers and the whole system are often called the astral body. Now, there are many, 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 many more layers of energy to the body, and there are many more chakras than the 7 that we know, that we commonly learn about in Western culture. If you look at Ayurveda, traditional Indian medicine, there are thousands of energy chakras. In Joy's Way, there, Dr. Joy goes through and shows us some beautiful, deeper illustrations of energy centers in the body and ways to work with it. So, next class that we'll be doing for MemPhoenix is Joy's Way. It's going to be an 11-week class. I'm going to do 1 chapter a week. One thing that I thought was just awesome and incredible was Dr. Joy finding the entire book coming to him in spurts, and describing his creative process sounded so much like me, and sporadic and disorganized, and I'm like, if this medical doctor can succeed and have this experience, then I got nothing to worry about, right? So that, I mean, it's just been beautiful, amazing. Part of me wanted to do that thing where you kind of beat up on yourself a little bit for not having done it sooner, but there is no right or wrong. It happened at the exact right time, the best time for me to be able to process it and use it. Oh man, Frank D. Robinson, my art mentor. Hello, sir. Infinite love and gratitude to you. Wishing you well, hoping you are blessed, sending you hugs and love. I'm in Denver right now, and what I'm doing is like packing up my little bag because I want to show everybody. Maybe we can catch one of the planes taking off out here before we end class tonight. So looking at things, some more intuitive projects, how I personally move forward in the music industry, martyrs, the legacy of Prince Rogers Nelson, and of Avicii. So for today, just for today, I'm just going to sing a little bit, because I know that justice is coming in God's time. And the only thing that I hear consistently is to pick up and to continue with their legacy, with the things that they were asking be done. Which, you know, for Prince, it was awakening the world to the things that are going on around us, the ways in which we're being manipulated, and to taking back our power and our divine nature. For Avicii, it was protecting children. Feeling my way through the darkness, guided by a beating heart. I don't know where the journey will end, but I know where to start. Wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. Life's a game meant for everyone. Oh, and love is the prize. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. 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 So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. All this time I was finding myself, and I didn't know I was lost. I didn't know I was lost. Oh, I didn't know I was lost. I didn't know I was lost. What was the other lyric? They say I'm too young to understand. I'm caught up in a dream. Wish that I could travel the world, but I don't have any plans. I am going to travel the world. I am traveling the world without plans. And just being, oh, you know, whip that plane. Whip it. See the ground controller down there? I found out this morning in the wee hours of the dawn that my dad used to do that. I knew he, worked at the airport with FedEx. I didn't realize he used to work for Frontier. And that's who I fly with most often. This is ground control to Major Tom. Really made the grade. I wish I remembered that song. So you want to hear a funny story? Completely unrelated to Reiki class or anything else. This little stand, movable selfie stick that my sister Sheila gave me. I was hopping around Nashville and trying to figure out a way that I could go busking on the street. So I found, and I revamped my little Ruby guitar, and I lashed a mic to this and bent it around my neck so that it stayed. It was like holding the mic. And I've got my guitar, and then I've got another bag slung across my shoulders that's carrying these little amps. And I'm just standing at a bus stop singing, and people started like pulling over to give tips. It was like beautiful. Not as beautiful as that though. Check that out. Love, life, and laughter is all I believe. My Savior is pure now, 'cause my lonely heart won't bleed. I never learned how to hold love and return to love, so I close my eyes now, and I'm dreaming right where I belong. Oh, And this is the gorgeous bridge. I'm not gonna go all the way because it's past the security checkpoint. But one of the employees here came by right before I started. He was wondering why I was inspecting the walls for power outlets and like standing and listening for the acoustics in different parts of the airport. And he said, "Are you lost?" And I said, "No, I want to do a podcast basically." And he said, "Oh, well, go, feel free to walk up and down, just don't go past the security checkpoint, and find any little spot in here you want." And it was just really, really sweet. I was like, oh, that's awesome. But I love this during sunset. I'm gonna be quiet for a minute and listen. Sending you all love, life, light, and power. Let us chant Reiki Sansho together. Just for today, I release worry. Just for today, I release anger. Just for today, I am grateful and appreciative. Just for today, I work and pray diligently. Just for today, I am showing loving kindness to every living creature, starting with myself. And thank you, Crystal, for helping me come to that new awareness. I just decided on that today, that it is starting with me. Just for today, I release worry. Just for today, I release anger. just for today. I am grateful. I am appreciative. Just for today. I work and pray diligently. Just for today. I show loving kindness to every living creature, starting with myself. Just for today. I release worry. Just for today. I release anger. Just for today. I work and pray diligently. Just for today. I am grateful and appreciative. Just for today. I show loving kindness to every living creature, beginning with myself. Peace and love, guys. Thank you so much for being here. You truly bless me, and I'm grateful that you get something from this as well. Be sure to put any questions, comments you have in the group chat. And if you haven't been added, let me know. It's the Reiki101 group. We'll be starting next week with the Joy's Way. Not next week, but in 2 weeks. Next week is class 8, session 8, the final. We'll do our attunements. You can get a personal one-on-one video chat attunement from me, or you can receive one with the group. Everyone who participates in the class and gets your Reiki Level 1 certification, I'm going to figure out a way next week for you to let me know that you definitely want to receive that attunement and the certification. And then anyone who receives their Level 1 certification also gets a free one-on-one session in addition to the attunement. So that's it. Art heals. Peace and love. Questions or comments? Oh, it does sound like, yeah, Phyllis, it sounds like Native American flutes.
Please report any
Just for today, it is the magic that keeps us in the present moment, which is really all that there is. Sending you all love. Thank you. I love you. Peace.